Hey, everybody. It's the She's the Owner podcast. I'm your host, Karen McCarran, and welcome to the show. This is take three officially because I bought a camera last year and it didn't work. And yesterday I got a new adapter to see if that would make a difference, and it has not. So I have recorded a couple minutes three times now, and here I am starting from scratch with the regular computer program. So if you're a content creator, and you create vlogs of any sort, I use Zoom simply because I can use the audio file and the video file. And so it's just easier to do it at one time for me in this way. But if you have a better way of doing this where I can get a high quality vlog video out of it, as well as my podcast audio, let me know because this is super frustrating. I really want part of 2023 for me is really just producing like much higher quality content in terms of like the visual and the sound and all that sort of thing. Sounds good. I mean, I have a really good microphone. If you're to show it to you, it's a Shure microphone. I think it's Shure 400. I'm not totally sure if I'm making that number up, but it's a really good microphone. No, actually, it's not called Shure 400. What am I saying? It was about $400. Anyway, long story short, if you are a content creator and you have a really good camera or setup to do your vlogging um and audio, like if it's still something I can use within Zoom, please let me know. Because your girl's tired of this bullshit, let me tell you. Anyway, I digress. So, big news. I wanted to mention one quick thing before I get into today's content, which is going to be really talking about mindset and motivation and how to stay motivated when you just don't give a fuck about what's going on. Also, cute Shein top I just got if you're watching. It's a little bit small in my opinion, but it's okay. I'm on the weight loss journey. It'll be fine. Anywho, so I passed my course one for real estate here in Ontario. There are 5 courses in total, and there are a bunch of things you have to pass. It is not easy to get your license here. I've talked to a few friends who live in the US in different states. It's a thousand times easier to get your real estate license out there. Here, it's freaking hard and it's expensive. It's like upwards of $4,000. If it, probably closer to five if you get the tutoring and the all the extra bits to it. Um, so I passed the first time I did it, which was on January 14th. I failed it by one question. So 2%, but one question. I'm going to say that again. One mother effing question. And as soon as I got my grade, I was like so irritated because I'm like, if I'm going to fail, I'd rather just bomb it and be like, hey, you didn't study hard enough. You didn't, but I did. I studied my ass off and it was one question. And here's what's real. My favorite saying, I'm pretty sure it was a question that I had originally, like it was one that I bookmarked and went back and changed. Obviously, it had to be because I bookmarked like 15 of them. So that was kind of a pisser. But the night I got the results, so if you're doing a real estate course, the way that the exams work is that the day of whatever day you take it, you get your result at around quarter after midnight, that same, like obviously into the next day. But yesterday was my birthday, January 24th, and I took the test at 1 p.m. And by midnight or 10 after, I think it was actually 15 past midnight, I got my results in an email. So I passed, I got 82 on my second round. I honestly thought I did not do well. Like it was a lot of it. I was in my head, obviously. I'm learning, right? But there's a lot of instinct that that you can follow when you're taking exams like that. But I really didn't think I'd done well. I thought there's no way I passed this. Like it didn't feel good at all. And I passed it by quite a lot. So 75 is the pass. And apparently 60% of people don't pass that first one. And it's so he- let's just kind of segue into the mindset motivation part. Like I'll be honest, when I first, like I told one of my best friends right when I failed. Like I sent her a message and I was like, holy, it was late, right? It was like midnight. And I was like, I was so pissed off. But like instead of getting into my head, instead of getting angry about it, instead of like I was like, what the fuck? I was pissed, but instead of letting that be my narrative for however long it was going to take me. That second, probably within 5 minutes of getting my grade for the first course, I booked myself for my next exam. Why? Why did I do that? Because I knew if I had given myself enough time, I could have talked myself out of it. I could have said bullshit like, well, it's not for me at this time. And oh, everyone's saying it's really hard. See, they were right. Like, you don't need to do. And I was like, fuck that. Like, I I've said from the jump for the last several months that 2023 is going to be multiple streams of income, right? And this is one of the biggest streams that's going to happen. I'm no longer doing, a huge coaching kind of business. Like, yes, I'm still doing one-on-one client work, which I'm obsessed with. I love it. If you're looking for one-on-one coach, I'm not, I won't take everybody, just like everyone won't take me. But if you are a woman and you need your ass lovingly kicked, reach out. I'm happy to have a conversation with you. I'd love to have a conversation with you. So I'm still coaching. I'm just not coaching in that same capacity that I was last year. Um, I'm soon to be selling ketones. As you know, I've started drinking ketones again by Prove It. It is like I love drinking my ketones. It puts you into ketosis really within an hour. And why is that good? It helps your body burn fat no matter what you eat, even though I would never advocate eating like garbage and having ketones. Like, eat the way you're supposed to. I eat pretty clean. So as you know, I'm doing the Gina Livy program right now, which is outstanding. I love it. If I could sell her program and do affiliate marketing for hers, 1,000% I will. And I'm still going to share it, even though I won't make any commission off that. So that's not a stream of income, but it's certainly something that is close to my heart because I love her and I love the way the program is going. But so ketones, real estate, coaching. I'm also doing some fractional CMO work. So fractional chief marketing officer for brands that I believe in. And then the last one that I'm actually meeting with, I think today or no, in the next couple of days, is a brand that reached out to me that does supplement kind of things. They're Canadian brand. I think they're Canadian brand. Maybe not, maybe in Texas. I'm not positive. And they reached out asking if I was interested in being an ambassador. And that's not gonna, I mean, I don't anticipate that one being a huge stream of income. But why is all of this like why am I telling you all of this? It's because first of all, like it's easy for us to get derailed, right? Like I could have easily become very derailed um after failing. I could have easily been like, oh, fuck this. I'm not doing it. Like, I can't. But I committed something to myself last year, which is I'm going to build multiple streams of income. Like, this is my investment year. This is the year that I'm going to do, pay off all the things that I've wanted to pay off for a long time. And it's not a lot. Like, I'm not really, I'm fortunate I'm not in a whole heap of debt, but enough debt where it annoys me. And wealthy people are always in debt. I understand borrowing other people's money, etc. But like there's some things that I just prefer not to have looming over me. My cars are one of those things. Like I hate having car payments. It's super irritating. But anyway, so it could have been really easy for me to just bounce and be like, you know what, just go do this other thing. Cause I get paid well to do marketing. Oh, there we go. Get some noise action here. Let me just turn my notes off. I get paid well to do marketing. I get paid very well to do coaching. And so it would be easy for me to just, forget about real estate. But I made this commitment and fuck if I'm going to not do it. Right. And so that was part of why I took action so quickly, like why I moved as quick as I did. It was like 12:15 I got my grade, and by like 12:25 I'd booked my next exam. And was I motivated to do? Sure. I mean, because I didn't want to come out of my bubble of wanting to do it. So I definitely was motivated. But my mindset, that's the key. My mindset was sharp enough to go, you know what, biatch, you're not giving up on this. You made a commitment. You're disciplined, you're doing it. And so I just went really fast into action. And that's the thing I want you to really understand. It's like, the difference between people who are successful, like people would say about me, I think if you ask them, people would say about me that I am tenacious. Like I never stop, I never give up, I keep going, I keep going. And that is my nature. That's been who I've been for as long as I can remember. I've been called tenacious by more than one employer, like, and I don't know that it was like a super compliment in all of the times they've said it, but I took it as a compliment. But that's the thing, like my mindset, I have worked hard on it, you guys. Like it didn't just happen. Yes, I'm naturally tenacious. Yes, I'm naturally a hustler. But could I get derailed like everyone else? Absolutely, I could. But why don't I? Because I've done the work. I've done the mindset work. I've done the Tony Robbins work. And like that, Tony Robbins is doing a challenge right now and it starts, let me look at my thing, in a couple of hours at 2 o'clock. Although Tony time, you probably 2:33 type thing. Um, but he's doing this free challenge that he's done every year since COVID, and it's brilliant. A million people have been in the Zoom rooms and watching on Facebook and all YouTube and all those things. And it's amazing because he can reach so many more people virtually now. And that's really a result of COVID. Um, but people say like, "Oh, you're doing another yeah, okay." Now this year I'm lightening the load on Tony events because I have done like I'm it's not that I'm not learning something. I'm just sort of taxed in. I mean, I could put, I could do all 3 days of or 4 days of UPW by myself at this point because I've done it so many times. Not that I don't get something out of it, but I do need to elevate like where I'm going with my personal development. I need to shift gears a little bit. And this year it's going to be more Joe Dispenza kind of stuff. But like, why do when you are faced with situations, like a lot of people think, oh, I'm tough, or I've done this for so long, or I've hustled for so long, like I can just keep going. It's not true. Like you can keep going, but you're going to burn out, and the way you're going to burn out is you're not going to actually get anything done. You're going to take 2 steps forward and 75 steps backwards if you're not conditioned and primed to understand why you're slowing down and then what you need to do to move forward. Like motion for the sake of motion is idiotic. Like there's no fucking point to that. Motion for the sake, write it down. Motion for the sake of motion is idiotic. Like if I'm making a move to something, it better make sense. It better be something that's going to actually serve. Like why would I just that's just being busy to look busy. And ladies, if you're not bullshitting yourself right now, how many of you, if you're driving, if you're in your house listening to this, throw your hand up. Like how many of you are busy just to say that you're busy, right? And you're not actually accomplishing anything. There's nothing more irritating to my soul is if I'm busy and I'm not actually getting anything done. And so if you've not done the mindset work, if you've not sat down and said, why is this situation happening over and over and over again? If you haven't done that kind of work, you're never going to know. And you're honestly going to keep repeating it over and over and over again. And no amount of motivation is going to change that. You can be motivated all fucking day. But if you're motivated to change, but you don't know how to change and you've not done the work on what needs to change, you're literally, not literally, figuratively in a dark room with the door shut, spinning around in a circle, not knowing how to get out of that room. Like that's terrifying to me. And so when adversity happens or when challenges happen, the trick is that you have to know exactly like, okay, first of all, okay, so I didn't pass, I failed. And I don't even like that word cuz I didn't fail. Like I didn't pass, but I didn't fail. I just learned, okay, you got to like, and thankfully they give you some stuff that you need to, like sections that you missed questions on or didn't answer them correctly. Not a whole lot of information, but put me in a direction of what I should study more. So did I fail? No, I just didn't pass by one. But that's it, right? So it's like, okay, so if I didn't pass this time, there's a lesson here. And the lesson is maybe I didn't have enough confidence going in. Maybe I cared too much. Maybe I stressed myself out too much. Maybe it's been it's been 30 years since I've been in a classroom, basically, right? So maybe my memory skills aren't as good as I need them to be. Whatever the thing is, I learned something. And what I learned the most out of the experience of not passing and having to redo my exam, tenacity still lives on in me big time. And I wasn't about to let go. I wasn't about to be like, fuck it. Now, if I had failed this time, I would have had a moment for sure where I was like, no, this is not for me. I'm done. And then I would have been like, bullshit. It is for you. Get a tutor. And like, that is to me motivating, is when my mindset is on point and I can look at situations and go, okay, This doesn't mean quit. This means take a different direction. But I promise you, you won't know to even do that most of the time. Most of you will just go, forget it. It wasn't meant to be. Like that's people say that, right? Like, and I mean, there's definitely arguments of when that's an important statement to have. It just wasn't meant to be. But when you're sitting there, right? And I've already spent, about $1,000 on like like $800, let's call it, on this program, on the real estate program. And that's just course one. And twice I had to pay for the exam, right? Don't forget. And I bought passit.ca, which I highly recommend. It's a very, very strong supplemental like study guide. It's really, really good. It's not expensive. Anyway, like I could have easily talked myself into it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be. Would that have been true? No. Would it be true that I was looking for an escape because it was hard? Yeah. And like, again, if you've not done the work on your mindset, it's easy to fall into that trap. It's easy to just be like, well, it's just not for me. Instead of, okay, what did I do what did I do wrong? What did I do right? And how can I improve it for the next time? And that's what I did. What did I do wrong? What did I do right? And how can I improve it? And then I passed. Like, am I disappointed I didn't get a higher mark? For sure I am. That's the, badass in me is like, man, 82. But I'll take it. I'll fucking take it. Like, so I just want you to think about like, where are some areas that you could like, look around you and just think, you know what? Did I give up too easy on this? Did I give myself an out? Like same thing with eating, same thing with drinking. Like I'm doing dry January and I allowed myself to drink on my birthday. I super regretted it. I don't regret it. I'm done. I moved on. I learned a lot of like, here's what my normal pattern would be like, have drinks on my birthday. I ate like absolute trash on my birthday night. And then I didn't eat as much as I was supposed to the following day. So old Kara's pattern would be, well, it's Sunday. I'm just going to eat a burger. And I thought about it. Do not get me wrong. I thought about like, oh, I could eat a burger or, oh, I could have McDonald's or, oh, whatever. That's my old pattern. But because I've done the work, okay, I can look at that and be like, you have a choice in this. Why did I make the right choice this time and never any of the other times? I'm not sure exactly. I'm tired of my own bullshit. I'm tired of being overweight and being unhealthy. So that's mostly what it is. But like, could I have very easily gone off the wagon and just been like, fuck it, I'm just going to ruin the rest of the weekend because I just eat like crap on Saturday. And I did plan to have that meal. I knew what I was eating. I was actually really excited about it and I really enjoyed it. However, the next day, that night we went through a drive-through. I had like a Burger King apple pie, which I love, but I didn't need it. But the drinking started me making choices like that. So I was like, okay, this is horseshit. And it's easy to give yourself excuses. It's easy to give yourself like, well, whatever. I already ate like garbage. I might as well keep going. But something in me was like, you fucking do this every single time you say you're going to do this weight, like, get your body healthy, thriving, etc. Like if you don't not do it this time, you're never not going to do it. So you might as well just eat like shit and die when you're fucking 65 instead. And that conversation woke me up. I was like, I can't keep fucking doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting to be healthy, expecting my liver to love me, expecting my, bile ducts to not feel like shit, expecting my pancreas to stay healthy. Like these are things that really, people don't realize like our sugar intake on every level. Like I'm not just talking obvious sugar, but like, sugar in your coffee, sugar in the food, processed food, all the things. Like it is wreaking havoc with your pancreas and your blood sugar. And it's widely accepted that Alzheimer's is very connected to blood sugar. They call it type 3 diabetes, to be honest. So I know all this stuff. You know all this stuff. But in the moment when you feel like giving up, it's so easy to justify bad behavior. And until you work on your mindset, you'll continue to justify bad behavior. And even if you say go for 2 years and don't eat a cheeseburger, right? Here's how I would play it out to you. When I was quitting smoking, my mindset was right in quitting smoking. I wasn't thinking I was giving something up. I was thinking I was getting rid of something shitty. And so I very like I almost I mean now I never do. It's been almost, I think it's been 20 years. I'm not positive, but it's been a long time where I'm not thinking about it. I'm not pining over it because my mind was right about it. If I felt like I was giving something up, I'd still be pining over it. My dad, when he quit smoking for a number of years, he totally panicked. Like he would feel shitty and he'd, oh my God, I really, and I'd be like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? I don't even think about it. Same thing with food, same thing with other habits. Like it's, if you, it's the mindset. And I know I keep saying that word over and over and over again. I want you to understand it's your mindset first, and then you are motivated because your mindset. You're not motivated. We get motivated in the beginning. Oh, I'm going to lose weight, or oh, I'm going to start a business. Oh, I'm going to double my profits this year. Oh, I'm going to do this. Da, 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 da. You can get really pumped up, motivated at the beginning of the year. You go to a seminar, you get really pumped up. But I'm telling you, if your mindset hasn't been worked on and you haven't conditioned yourself for the moments where you don't feel motivated to pick your ass back up and keep going, you're going to flop and you're going to keep coming back over and over and over again to the same friggin' scenario. And that, my friend, is super exhausting. And that is the thing that will crush your confidence. Every time you go against something you've said, you're telling your subconscious mind, don't trust me. We don't have any integrity on this thing that we're doing. We're not keeping promises. As soon as I, like, honestly, even on Saturday night when I drank, because I will tell you, I did not want to drink. The whole day I was like, I don't want to drink. And then as soon as I sat down and my friends were having their cocktails, I was like, I'm going to have one. So what did I tell my brain? I told my brain, my subconscious mind, to not trust me because I don't have any integrity. Even though I planned it, I still didn't want to. Why did I? Why did I give in? Right? And that's the mindset work around that is, well, did I give in because I felt like I didn't want to be left out? I wanted to feel like I belonged. I'm supposed to because it's my birthday. Like if I didn't do the mindset work and I haven't worked on all the stuff I've worked on, I may have just been like, oh, whatever, I can't quit drinking or I can't not drink. But instead, I knew enough to look deeper. And now I'm like, alcohol really doesn't need to be a part of my life. No shade. If you like to drink and you want to keep drinking, fine. For me, I feel like a bag of shit. I'm 47 now. And I feel like a bag of, like, physically feel like a bag of shit when I drink the next day. It almost doesn't matter how much alcohol I have. My body doesn't metabolize it the way it used to. And so I will lose a day, sometimes 2 full days in hangover mode. Like, what the fuck is the point of that for me? There's no point in that. I can't get my shit done. I can't build multiple streams of income if I'm hungover. I can't impact women. I can't do podcasts. I can't do events or retreats or anything I want to do if I'm wasting time being hungover. And for me, the reason that I can look at that and not be triggered, quote unquote, and the reason I can look at that honestly in myself in the mirror is because I've done the work enough to say, call myself out on the bullshit. I've done enough work to be able to look at myself and say, okay, this is not about oh, no big deal, you had some drinks, blah blah, get over it. There's deeper meaning here, and you need to figure out that deeper meaning. And that's what I did. And are there going to be times when I'm tempted? Like, absolutely. The biggest thing when you're trying to change a habit is that identity that you attach to the habit. So for me, smoking, huge identity. I would get my Tim Hortons coffee, I would have my cigarette. I was like, that was my identity. Who am I if I'm not having a smoke with my coffee? I drink coffee every single day and I don't smoke. That was my old identity. My old identity. Who am I if I'm going out with the girls? Or who am I if I'm on the beach? Or who am I if I'm not having a cocktail? You're just you not having a cocktail. But it does take time to break the habit. But the saving grace for me is that I've done enough work on myself where I can stop and like get real about it and don't fucking, like, I'm not bullshitting myself. I'm not like, oh, pacify, no big deal, you just did it. No, because I know where I want to go. I don't need to be. Now, does that mean I'm never going to have alcohol? Probably not. Does that mean that I won't enjoy a glass of wine or a cocktail here and there? No, probably not. Maybe though. But what I do know is, like, my habits around drinking, I was drinking wine when I was bored. I was drinking when I wanted to socialize. I was drinking if I had a long day. Like, I always found, and it's not like I would, the thing I want to say about drinking and weed as well nowadays is to me, we are addicted to food. I don't think anybody can dispute that. There's a massive addiction to food, bad food. And I think there's an addiction to alcohol that isn't like an alcoholic. And this is why I say that. Both my parents were alcoholics. I grew up around alcoholics. I know that inside out. What I think I was doing was I was addicted to alcohol the same way I'm addicted to food. So when the food, that bad food's taken from me, am I like shaking and having withdrawal symptoms? No, absolutely not. I'm just like, oh, I'd like a burger. Eventually I'm like, man, whatever, burger. It's the same with alcohol. Like, do I have any type of issues when I'm not drinking? No, I feel amazing. But there are definitely times, like if someone put a bottle of wine in front of me, I would be like, oh, that would taste yummy. Right. Just like I'd say if somebody put a Whopper or a burger, better burger, whatever, in front of me, I'd be like, well, that'd be yummy. So I think we don't talk about alcohol in the totally accurate way. Like social drinking is still, you know, there's still a range of where it's not so social. And it's not like you're waking up and having a glass of wine in the morning, but same thing with weed, right? It's so acceptable. Like I've said to my kids multiple times, like if I woke up in the morning and I shot a glass of or drank a glass of wine, you all would be calling me an alcoholic. So why is it okay for people to wake up and smoke up just because it's natural? That's the stupidest fucking argument I've ever heard. You're still trying to hide from something. I don't give a fuck. Like anything. And that's the other major overarching thing that I want to talk about when it comes to mindset work and motivation. Any kind of substance, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, anything that's too much of something is you're trying to hide emotion from it. Right. And so what was I like for me? I think the biggest thing about the drinking was boredom. I was bored. So I just grab a bottle of wine, have a couple glasses, and I'd be like, well, I'm still bored, but now I'm a little tipsy. Okay. Like anybody who's doing anything like that, like really, let's be honest, anything that alters your state like that, you're altering your state for a reason. It's not just for shits and giggles. You're altering your state for a reason. You're needing a drink to relax. You're needing to smoke a toke to relax. Like I think people just don't get real enough about this stuff. And there's no way, find me any wildly successful, healthy inside their body, healthy inside their mind, healthy inside their relationships, healthy spiritually person that's drinking every day or smoking up every day. I would love to meet them and interview the shit out of them to figure out how that's possible. Like, and that's the thing. If I want to have this multiple streams of income and start investing in multifamily properties and do all this thing this year, like I don't have room for shit like that. I don't have room to lose a day or two because I'm hungover because my old ass can't handle partying anymore. Like, and I just want you to know, like all of this stuff, it's not a shade. I'm not throwing shade at myself. I'm not punishing myself, but I'm so freaking happy. And I feel so lucky that I've done all the work that I've done so I can sit in this moment and be really honest about my behavior and how to move it and how to work it so that I can continue to stay motivated. And that's what my invitation is to you. Like, where can you look around and be like, you know what? I'm actually completely full of shit here. Like, I really need to get serious about this. Because if I want what I say I want, I'm not getting it by talking myself in and out of these stupid habits that I'm doing. The only way you're going to get to where you want to go is if you change your habits. That's it. And I mean, it is a simplistic way to put it, but that is it. Changing your decisions, making new decisions about things, right? So I hope that was helpful. I think one of the biggest things too, and actually, I mean, I'll do another podcast on this if, down the road, but like there's some other little hacks, quote unquote hacks that you can do to like physically get your energy up where you're feeling more motivated to do stuff. But honestly, guys, it's all about honesty. And like, oftentimes when we think we're being honest, we start to tell ourselves, oh no, it's okay. You did okay. You did fine. Like, I think, yeah, I mean, sure, I'm doing great, but I knew better than to get drunk on Saturday night. I knew better. And I made a decision not to listen to myself. So now I'm I'm not looking at it like, oh, you're such a piece of garbage, Kara. How could you do it? I'm like, okay, girl, you did this. You knew better. Let's figure out why you did it and let's not do that again. Because that is way more motivating to me than if I was just like, oh, it's okay, and give myself a little pat on the back. I'm not making myself bad. Just be clear. It's not that I'm not loving myself. I'm actually loving the shit out of myself by being honest about my behavior. So look for ways you can be honest, write them down, look at them seriously, and go from there. I hope you have an amazing day. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.